Okay, hello, Professor. So for the research project, we essentially wanted to do something that maybe an NGO or a public health organization would undertake, which was to find factors that increase life expectancy in a given country. And so the data is countries, the year the data was collected, and then various other public health metrics that apply in that country. That apply to all the countries. And the research question was something that kind of followed common sense, which was the more material resources, aka GDP, that a country has, the higher likelihood there is that they will spend a higher percentage of that on life expectancy. Things that would increase their life, and thus there would be a higher life expectancy. So the data was selected the data was collected by the WHO, the WHO, and the Global Health Observatory. And it didn't really require too much munging because it was collected and correlated by data scientists. So there's very little user error, except there was munging for null inputs. So we just did the command for data frames to just take that out. And that was the main munging that was required. The methods that we didn't use anything that wasn't really included in class. So, of course, the NumPy, the Seaborn, the whole scikit. We didn't use any third-party APIs or anything like that. And the prediction was was KNN, regression and classification. And so we used quite a bit of visualizations, pair plotting, to find out if there was any outliers in the data, which there wasn't anything that really raised too many eyebrows. And the main correlation table was done as well, which is right. Yeah, here's the correlation table. And the main correlation that was identified, positive correlation between life expectancy and schooling. And of course, in general, also the KNN regression that we use to predict life expectancy based on these public health data. So adult mortality, are there lots of infants dying, and they drinking lots of alcohol. And this, we came up with an RMSE of 4. And then when more features were added to the regression model, it went down to 3. So that is in general the machine learning that we did. We also did a classification problem that identified which countries were developed and developing by their population and their year. And that had a 85.8% accuracy. And the results essentially were, yes, following a common sense type approach, the more money that a country has, the more money they spend on things that increase their life expectancy, which is not always true. Particularly in America, we spend a lot on healthcare. We don't, actually have. Of course, this data was in 2015, and our life expectancy has only fallen in the last couple of years. But that's neither here nor there. So the main discussion would be that if you have more money, you're likely to live longer on an international scale. But at the same time, the main thing that is correlated is schooling. So if you have more money, the analysis wouldn't necessarily imply that schooling is directly, of course, the data says that, but it's likely that if you have more money, you go to school for longer, and then that also extends to other. But the single metric that was most closely correlated with higher life expectancy is the schooling. And essentially, the headline there is that if you have higher years of school, your average citizen goes to school for more years, that citizen will live longer based on all other metrics. And this was backed up by the American Journal of Public Health, which said that the life expectancy is the thing that most can directly classify it is the schooling. And yep, that's what we did.